Keeper of the Lost Cities. Keeper of the Lost Cities. Now, this is a series for young readers that is a New York Times best-selling series. The good news? There's a graphic novel coming out as well. And the author that started it all, from her inspiration to the pages of delight, well, she's about to join us. But first and foremost, welcome back to Whistler. Our show is called Connect. We love connecting with people in the know, certainly our next guest is, and places you want to go. And this is not a lost city. You need to put it on your bucket list. We're in Whistler. Yes, indeed. Well, let's get to the author right now. Hugely successful author. How does it feel, Shannon, to have the graphic novel out?
Oh, it is such an author bucket list thing. I am just geeking out. I have wanted a graphic novel adaptation of my work since before it even fully published. I was just like, oh, it would be so cool to have a graphic novel. So it's kind of like a dream come true to actually have it coming together and coming out into the world. And I hope everyone loves it as much as I do.
Well, they will, no doubt. I love this unique project. Tell us how it came about.
Honestly, this time what was so cool was that it really was a collaboration. There was a whole team working with me, not just at my publisher, but the original script for the adaptation was written by Selena Friend. And then the art was obviously done by Gabriella. And the I got to choose both of them out of quite a few people who auditioned for both roles, and they just were exactly what I was looking for. And so I was so excited to get to work with them on the project. But it was great that they got to have their input and their own thumbprint on things. The things that Selena added to the script, it was like, oh, I love that visual that she's calling out. And then the way that Gabriella approached the art and broke it into panels and everything was just like, this is so cool. And then I, of course, weighed in at every stage. I gave notes on the different drafts. And then I also got to see the panels even as rough as like the pencil sketches, and then onto the inks and then color, and give notes and feedback on all of it. So it truly was, team keeper for this book. And I think we came out with something really special.
Love it, love it. Team Keeper. Team Keeper. Well, you have a great team behind you with this project. Thanks for illuminating it for us and joining us today. And with that said, I wanted to know what really served you well, this collaborative skill of yours, to bring it to life.
I discovered that I am more collaborative than I thought. I used to always make the joke that, because I started out with as an art major and then as a film major, and I left Hollywood because I felt like Hollywood was too collaborative. It was always a team. Everything, it was a writer's room and not just one writer, and it was rewriting and having a million cooks in the kitchen. And I was like, I don't collaborate. I like to work by myself. And so then here I was on a project where we were collaborating, and I realized in the right format with the right team, I actually, love collaboration. It was great to have all that extra feedback and all those extra brains on the project coming into it and really putting their stamp on it and making it better as a result. Not sure I'd want to go back to, the film model. I like that when I'm sitting down to write the book, it's just kind of me in my own head, but it was really fun to have that extra brain power and see where it could take us.
Extra brain power. We all need some extra brain power, right? But let me tell you, Shannon, you are a treasure. Our kids love you. As parents, we love you. Congratulations on all your well-deserved success. As we wrap, what motivates you? What gets you going?
I think for me, it always is. I'm constantly reminding myself that you're only as good as your next book, and that I'm here honestly because of my readers. The series was not a runaway overnight media splash sensation at all. It came out with barely a whisper into the world, like, hi, I'm here, pay attention to me. And we spent years struggling. And I learned, very quickly that, I can go on social media or pitch myself for interviews and say, my books are great. And nobody listens to me. They listen to readers. They listen to, their friends coming to them and saying, oh my goodness, you've got to read this book. I loved it so much. I want to talk to you about it. Or teachers and educators and librarians saying, hey, students, you should give this book a try. Booksellers putting it in their customers' hands and saying, you should buy this one out of all the other millions of books out there. And it was years of that happening, slowly spreading the word of mouth. All of a sudden, by book 5, we were a New York Times bestselling series, and it just kind of took off from there. And now I'm internationally bestselling, and I in more countries than I can even keep track of. And it's because of the readers. And so I always step back and remember, this wasn't me. This was a team effort in its own way. And to really stay true to the fact that readers have expectations, and they're counting on me, and I need to deliver for them. It's a lot of pressure, but it's good pressure, and I'm so grateful that I'm here because of them.
Scholarships. Basically free money, right? Well, welcome back to Connect. I'm your host, Conn Patrick Jackson. We're coming to you from Whistler, home of the 2010 Winter Olympics. We're in the late fall season. It's drizzly, it's 30 degrees. Got my warm coffee here. I like this pink blends. If you're ever up here, great place. But the snow is coming, I'm telling you, we're excited. But for our show coming up, we're talking about scholarships. We've got a young man that is making a big difference helping others, and that's what we love to do on Connect, recognizing those making a difference. Christopher is. And Christopher, how much scholarship money were you offered, and how has that led you to help others?
Yeah. Yeah, so I was successful and I won over $1 million in scholarships for myself. And I realized that, of course, that issue was affecting a lot of other students across the nation. So I really wanted to, create something, Scholly, to be able to really help students find all this free money that's out there that just students just don't know exists, right?
Well, Christopher, is probably an easy question to answer, but tell us the importance of free money.
Because there's millions of dollars that goes unclaimed every year, and it's just sad, right? Over 40% of families that qualify for scholarship actually did not apply for a single scholarship simply because they don't know it exists, right? They don't need free money out there, so it's really important to really, I think the best way to address college affordability, to reduce student debt, is to get scholarships because it's free money. It's out there looking for you. It's available. So we really want to make sure students have access to it, so they can be able to pay for college responsibly and also just have access to every opportunity that's available to them.
Well, Christopher, tell us more about Scully.
So Scholly is a mobile web app that helps students find money for college. The app takes you put in your information, takes 2 minutes, and you are instantly matched with scholarships you qualify for. Scholly turns the months of looking for scholarships into minutes. We've helped students secure over $100 million in scholarships so far, and we've been able to, and now the app is free, and we're able to help a ton. Now the app is free and accessible. We're able to help a ton more people.
A lot of people are going to want to lean in for this scholarship money. How does it work?
So Scholly, you just simply download the app. It's free in the App Store, iPhone, Android, or web, and you sign up, put in your demographic information really quickly, and then you're instantly matched with scholarships you qualify for in minutes, right? And that's what makes it so powerful because it's also, the app helps you whether you're a high school student, you're a current college student, you're a graduate student, returning student, across the board. So it really helps everyone, helping families in general, and that's something, so really simple, very intuitive, and you're also getting scholarships that are tailored to you, right? And that's something that's really important to really help students go through that and families navigate through that process.
Well, Christopher, you also are here to tell us about an exciting partnership you have with Sally Mae. Tell us more.
So Sally Mae, the Education Solutions Company, and now Scholly by Sally Mae, is now a free tool to where our focus is putting free money first. We want to make sure that students, before they have to decide whether they want to take out a student loan or not, to make sure they understand and have access to every available opportunity to them to pay for college. And scholarships is really number one for that. So we're about putting free money first, getting Scholly, being able to ensure that students have access to those millions of dollars in scholarships that go unclaimed each year, so we can so we can be able to empower, and being able to empower students to live their best lives, reducing their student debt, making college more affordable, and also just letting students really have access to money, that's all this money that's just readily available to them.
Well, you are truly amazing. We appreciate you so much, Christopher, for joining us today. getting us introduced to Scully, as well as understanding the importance of that free scholarship money. As we wrap, what advice do you have for students out there?
To start early. So start now, get the app now. We really want students to really be able to access this money now so they can have a holistic view of how they're going to be able to pay for college. So start the process early because there's a lot of applications, a lot of things you need to do. So you really want to start early as possible, and being able to, and also make sure you do your FAFSA as well because FAFSA gives you access to more money and, is also it's something that can be a requirement for some of the scholarships. So we really want to make sure students do their FAFSA, but also with the scholarship process, get the app now, sign up so you can make sure that you get access to as many scholarships as you can from the start.
A place for mom, a place for mom. Welcome back to Connect. I'm your host, Conn Patrick Jackson. In just a few moments, we're going to talk to a senior living care expert. She's going to tell us about a survey that was recently put out and opportunities for us with aging parents, and in particularly my mom, who's awesome. Hi, Mom. About great options for them. And with that said, let's find out more. There's Tatiana joining us right now, and tell us about A Place for Mom.
So Place for Mom is a platform that supports family caregivers with advice when it comes to senior care. So we have an expert group of advisors located throughout the country available to work directly with family caregivers at no cost, and they help them unpack the specific needs of their senior loved ones, navigate through the journey end to end, all at no cost to the families.
Wow, no cost. That's incredible what you guys are doing to help our incredible moms and dads out there and grandparents. Now, with that said, let me just ask you about the state of caregiving. What seem to be some of the most pertinent challenges?
Well, Conn, the number of seniors is dramatically increasing in the US and is expected to reach over 80 million by 2040. And so, with that, you can just imagine the serious challenges being faced by family caregivers. We just released our new survey on the state of caregiving from A Place for Mom recently, and we found that almost all family caregivers feel overwhelmed and emotionally drained. 82% of them don't feel like they're able to provide adequate support, and 75% have had to work less on their jobs or even quit their work altogether. So these are just a few of the hard truths that are being faced by family caregivers.
And me being even new to this space, how does one successfully navigate it?
Yes, navigating is not easy. I would offer 3 pieces of advice. It's important to look at care needs, costs, and lifestyle preferences when you think about making a decision. So first, on care needs, we need to understand, what does the senior need help with? What are the active daily living activities that need to be supported? And that varies quite a bit, particularly with dementia diagnosis and memory loss. Second is costs. In our business, we find that 2/3 of families don't feel prepared in understanding senior care costs. So we want to work with them to understand options and how to pay. Lastly, everybody wants mom or dad to be in a welcome, warm environment with joy and a sense of community. So things like activities, amenities, and the staff are critically important when making a decision.
Well, one of the things I read in our notes previous to this interview is how much focus is also helping veterans.
Yes, and Veterans Day is coming up soon. There are 8 million veterans in the US. This is such an important community, and at A Place for Mom is 30% of the customers that we help. And so veterans and their spouses may be eligible for VA aid and attendance benefits. And so our advisors help with expert guidance with these families to access more than $8 million in support on an annual basis. And I'm excited to share today that we actually have just joined forces with USAA, the leading veteran organization for financial resources with over 13 million members. And I believe that together we're going to have an even greater impact and help more veteran families.
Well, that certainly is amazing. As was talking to you, we appreciate it, Tatiana, for you making time and leading the great organization, A Place for Mom. Thanks again. As we wrap, remind us where we go for more information.
Absolutely. Please visit aplaceformom.com. We've got great resources and advisors in the local area to help. You don't have to do this alone as a caregiver. We are here and available to help make this journey better.
So glad you got to check out that clip. But listen, we've got plenty more going on here at Get Connected, our TV show. My friend and I are going to give you a glimpse of all the fun, so take it away.
The sun shines bright as it moves across my face. I feel the light and everything is in its place. Oh, I woke up feeling great. Today was made for me. And life is good the way it should, the way it was meant to be.
Well, join us and we'll get you in the know. Check us out at Get Connected at conntv.com and be part of the movement.
So I actually was born in Brazil, and so this language that I'm speaking to you, English, I had to learn that, and I grew up in between cultures. So my mom plucked us from Rio and put us in Connecticut. So I grew up in this in-between, and as a kid, when you travel to a new country and you live there, you realize, wow, dang, there's one country out there that's different than mine. What else is out there? And so as a kid, I was fascinated by this concept of languages to one day travel the world. And it was always rooted in connecting and knowing more, because I was like, if I can't be 100% Brazilian or 100% American, like, why not try to be a bit of everything? Okay, everybody's like, oh, do you like soccer? I'm like, yeah, okay, like one time I scored a goal in gym class, let's not get carried away. I've been to Carnival, yes, but definitely I consider myself Brazilian in spirit and American in just like a little bit of the logic side, but a mix of both. Okay, so really exciting data came out. Priceline surveyed the masses, and the 3 most popular destinations for this holiday season are my favorites: New York City. So, you know, those Christmas movie scenes, that could be yours. You can pop on over to the lights and see the displays. Then there's Las Vegas, which I've never headed there for the holiday season, but this data is making me curious. Like, how does Vegas look? The lights are already crazy off holiday season. Imagine when you throw in some of that holiday cheer. And the third city is Los Angeles, where I like to go because it gives you a bit of that sunshine and rollerblading down the boardwalk. It's a really surreal experience when you leave a city like New York, you pack your winter coat, and then you go to Los Angeles and suddenly you remember what sunshine is again. I know, right? So the first thing that most people think about with holiday travel is hectic. And it's true, it can be very stressful, but it is very nice to be reunited with family and to pack the gifts and to see the nieces and nephews. So some of the best hacks for keeping yourself stress-free is booking with Priceline's rebook feature. So if you book your flights through the Priceline app, you can actually manage all of the rebooking. If you have any weather changes or flight delays or any crazy cancellations, you don't need to call every individual airline or wait in the queues of the chats that never get back to you. You could rebook automatically with the Priceline app. So that helps you. Another really cool tool is part of the new intelligence suite of offerings that Priceline has developed is Penny, which is an AI, artificial intelligence chatbot. So you will say, okay, hey, I'm going to New York. I booked this hotel through Priceline. Are there any restaurants with seasonal menus near me? And Penny will help you book through the app. So it's taking travel to the next level and making it super convenient. Yes, I hope everybody becomes an early travel planner. I'm already planning my trips for like next summer, and the holiday deals, the Black Friday deals, they start as early as November 6th on Priceline. You're gonna get 30% site-wide, so that's already a deal that is silly not to look at. But the extra deal that I absolutely encourage you to sign up for is when you sign up for the email newsletter, you're gonna get a mystery coupon. And the mystery is because the prices range, the percentages range. Some people will get 99% off in their mystery coupon on express deals, which are already extremely discounted. So it's deals on deals on deals. And that starts again November 6th. And you can start planning those trips for next year, save your money.
Three is company. Three is company. Can you hear that song of their old show running through your mind? And the star, we had the two ladies, but the star, John Ritter. We lost him, we've lost Suzanne Summers, but today we're talking about the John Ritter Foundation. 20 years since he passed away. We've got a world-renowned doctor and his wife joining us. Amy is an amazing actress in her own right, and her smile, John and her smile, just illuminated the whole planet. And with that said, the doctor joins us. There is Amy. Amy, your major loss, our major loss. Just talk to us about the courage to start this foundation.
Well, I think just then you said the key thing, which you said, my loss and all of our loss. And because when John passed away, I mean, I think I said at the time, well, I didn't know I was married to Elvis, because everybody was pretty much broken up about it because nobody expected it. And they kind of considered John part of the family. He was not like, well, he did do movies, but like a movie star on the screen, but he was very approachable. He was in our living rooms, right? And so when he died and I was looking for answers, I knew everybody was going to be looking for answers. And so everything that I learned, I put into the John Ritter Foundation for Aortic Health. And then the website, johnritterfoundation.org, which is so good right now. I'm so proud of it. So much information on there. So everybody could have the answers that I was finding. And we have the, amazing professional advisory board. So it's not just me running my mouth. Sometimes I'm just translating for actual human beings the things that doctors are telling me. Not that doctors aren't human beings. Nobody on this call get mad at me.
Well, Amy, we salute you. We admire you, the courage to help others on their path, to start this foundation, to bring the joy that John brought us to life and keep it alive, but also with such an important message. With that said, Doctor, what did happen to John?
Yes, thank you for having me. What happened to John was tragic. And when we think about the heart, a lot of people think of chest pain, they think about the heart, but his problem was much different. The aorta, the thoracic aorta, is the main pipe that comes out of the heart, shaped like a candy cane. And what happened was his tore. And when it tears, it can bleed, it can block out blood flow to vital organs, and ultimately will kill you. So really the message here is for folks to recognize that if you have chest or back pain, think not just the heart, but also the thoracic aorta. And the diagnosis can be made with a CAT scan. Be your own advocate. Let the doctors know. They'll know what to do eventually, but the ultimate treatment would be surgery then.
Well, certainly sounds complex, doctor. With that said, what is the call to action for all of us?
Good question.
You know, I think the call to action for your viewers today is really education. Through the johnritterfoundation.org, what Amy started many years ago, is really increasing the awareness of this condition. You know, I don't think we really know how frequent this occurs, because many times people will die. And I think it's important to recognize for your viewers that if someone has died all of a sudden in your family, especially at a young age, you have to ask that question, was this really related to an aortic dissection? Could that have been the problem? And make sure your viewers let the doctors know that that could have been an issue in the family.
Yeah.
Good insights, doctor, and thank you for being part of this awareness campaign. And Amy, if we can bring you back in as we wrap, thanks again for your courage. Thanks again for your illuminating light. As we wrap, what last thoughts do you want to leave with us?
Yeah, just that, I mean, I didn't know. Nobody told me that it could be genetic. I had to kind of ferret that out for myself, but then it became very obvious because John's brother, Tom, developed an aneurysm, the ballooning that usually is the precursor to the dissection, in the exact same place that John's was. And we found it because we were doing, for all of John's first degree relatives, yearly echocardiograms just to measure the aorta, just like women get mammograms. You need to make sure everything is right, what's happening. You have to be able to be proactive. And so if you know you have it possibly in your family, you need to be able to know what your risk is and be able to express that to your doctor. And there's no symptoms for the aneurysm part. So it could be growing in you with no symptoms until you feel that tear. So the way to get ahead of that is to really educate yourself. I'm telling you, the website is so good and getting better every day. New information on there, and you will save someone's life. It's true.
Let It Go. Let It Go celebrates 10 years. What am I talking about? The movie Frozen. Welcome back to Connect. I'm your host, Conn Patrick Jackson. We are in Whistler, home of the 2010 Winter Olympics. We're in the village. It's cozy. Got my warm coffee. It's about 30 degrees. A little drizzly, but what does that mean here in November? The snow is coming. And I love to ski. But let's get back to Frozen. We've got a parenting expert with us. We need to celebrate this big celebration with her and find out how they're doing it. So there is Joyce. Joyce, tough question to start with. Who's your favorite Frozen character?
Well, I have to say Olaf is my favorite character. He's really funny.